Have you ever wondered why some relationships thrive while others wither and die? It's a question that, at one point or another, has most likely pricked your curiosity. Today, we're going to delve into a topic that holds the answer to this conundrum: the power of communication. Communication, in its simplest form, is the exchange of information. But it's also so much more than that. It's the cornerstone of any relationship, the bridge that connects us, and the tool we use to express our needs, desires, and emotions. It's through communication that we share our lives with others, and it's the quality of this communication that often determines the strength and health of our relationships. Imagine a garden, a place of beauty and growth, but only if it's tended to with care. Relationships, like gardens, require regular attention and nourishment. And it is communication that serves as the water and sunlight, fostering growth and blooming connection. Without it, the garden withers, relationships falter and may even cease to exist. Now think about the last time you had a misunderstanding with someone. Perhaps it was a friend, a family member, or a colleague. Chances are, at the heart of that conflict was a breakdown in communication. Misunderstandings, assumptions, and unexpressed feelings can all lead to tension and conflict. This is why effective communication is so crucial. It clears away the fog of assumption, fosters understanding, and prevents needless conflict. But it's not enough just to communicate. It's the quality of our communication that matters. It's about speaking clearly, listening intently, and responding thoughtfully. It's about understanding not just the words that are said, but the emotions and intentions that lie beneath. It's about building bridges of understanding rather than walls of misunderstanding. So the power of communication is immense. It can make or break relationships, foster understanding or sow discord, bring us closer or drive us apart. It's a tool, a skill, and an art. And like any art, it can be mastered. Understanding the importance of communication is the first step towards mastering it. But how can we improve our communication skills? Well, stick around, because that's exactly what we're going to explore next. Listening, a simple act. Yet how many of us truly master it? The art of listening, my dear friends, is a dance of attentiveness and compassion, a ballet of empathy and understanding. It isn't merely about hearing the words spoken, but comprehending the unspoken emotions, the concealed thoughts that often lie beneath the surface. Let's delve into this captivating art, shall we? The first step is to project empathy. To truly listen is to step into the shoes of the speaker, to understand their perspective, their emotions. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing, but acknowledging their experience as valid and real. So the next time you listen, remember to lend not just your ears, but also your heart. Next comes the challenge of avoiding distractions. In today's world, distractions are as plentiful as the stars in the night sky. From the incessant pings of our devices to the whirlwind of our thoughts, it's easy to lose focus. However, to truly listen, we need to create a cocoon of attentiveness. So turn off your devices, silence your mind, and let the speaker bask in the warmth of your undivided attention. Now for the final touch, providing feedback. This doesn't mean offering solutions or advice, but rather reflecting back what you've heard, showing that you've truly understood. It's about saying, "I hear you, I understand you, and your thoughts matter to me." This validation can make the speaker feel valued and heard, strengthening the bond between you. So, there you have it, the art of listening in all its splendid complexity. It's not just about hearing, but understanding, empathizing, and validating. It's a journey, not a destination, a skill that needs constant honing. But remember, the rewards are worth the effort. Mastering the art of listening can transform your relationships, but communication is a two-way street. So what about expressing oneself? Scene script. How often do you find it challenging to express your thoughts and feelings? The age-old quandary of effective communication. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. But fret not, for there are indeed strategies that can help you navigate this complex world of expression. Firstly, let's consider clarity and conciseness. It's rather like a well-brewed cup of tea. Too much water, and it becomes bland. Too little, and it's overpoweringly strong. Balance is key. Your words should be clear and precise, like a well-aimed dart hitting the bullseye. Avoid unnecessary jargon, and keep in mind that the most effective messages are often the simplest. Next, let's talk about I statements. These are your personal declarations of perception, feelings, and needs. For example, I feel upset when you interrupt me because I need to be heard. These statements are a powerful tool that can help you convey your feelings without blaming or criticizing the other person. It's like declaring your own personal truth without trespassing on someone else's. Now, onto the silent language of non-verbal communication. You see, communication isn't just about words. It's also about the silence between the words, the expressions on our faces, and the gestures of our hands. Non-verbal cues can often tell a story far more compelling than words alone. So pay attention to your body language, your tone of voice, and your facial expressions. They're all part of the conversation. In the end, expressing yourself effectively is about understanding and respecting your own feelings and thoughts, and conveying them in a manner that can be understood and respected by others. It's a dance, a delicate balance between speaking and listening, between asserting and understanding, between the self and the other. Being able to express yourself effectively is crucial, but what happens when communication breaks down? Well, that's a tale for another time. For now, remember, clear, concise, and respectful communication is the key to building better relationships. Communication barriers, we've all faced them, but how do we overcome them? We've all found ourselves in situations where our message just doesn't seem to get through. Perhaps it's a misunderstanding or a difference in perspective. It could be emotions running high or simply a lack of patience. These are all common communication barriers that can disrupt the flow of effective communication. Let's start with misunderstandings. They often occur when we make assumptions or jump to conclusions. The key to overcoming this barrier is to clarify and confirm. Seek to understand before being understood. Ask questions, paraphrase what you've heard, and confirm your understanding. This approach not only clears up any potential misunderstandings, but also shows your genuine interest in the conversation. Now let's talk about managing emotions. Emotions can cloud our judgment and distort our communication. When emotions run high, we might say things we don't mean, or interpret others' words in ways they didn't intend. So, how do we manage this barrier? It's all about emotional intelligence. Recognize your emotions, understand their effect on your communication, and learn to control them. It's not about suppressing your emotions, but rather expressing them in a way that is constructive and respectful. Lastly, practicing patience is a crucial strategy to overcome communication barriers. We live in an era of instant gratification, where we want responses and results immediately. However, effective communication requires time and patience. Allow the other person to express their thoughts fully before responding. Try not to interrupt or rush the conversation. Remember, patience is not just about waiting, but how you behave while waiting. Overcoming these communication barriers can drastically improve not only your personal interactions, but also your professional relationships. And remember, communication is a two-way street. It's not just about expressing your thoughts effectively, but also about understanding and valuing the perspectives of others. Overcoming communication barriers can drastically improve your relationships. But how do we ensure that our communication skills keep improving? The journey to communication mastery is not a destination, but a continuous process. But how can we ensure we're always improving? Just like a master sculptor chisels away at a block of stone, refining and shaping it until it transforms into a work of art, so too must we continually hone and refine our communication skills. The process is ongoing, dynamic, and requires a commitment to constant improvement. One of the most effective ways to improve is by seeking feedback. You see, feedback is the mirror that reflects our communication abilities. And it's only by looking into this mirror that we can truly see our strengths and areas for improvement. Engage with individuals you trust, those who will provide you with honest and constructive criticism. Remember, feedback is not meant to bring you down, but rather to build you up. Next, there's no substitute for practice. Just as a musician practices scales or a footballer practices penalties, we must practice our communication. But remember, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Be mindful of your body language, tone of voice, and choice of words. Practice active listening and empathy. The more you practice, the more these skills will become second nature. Finally, embrace a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. It's the love of learning and resilience in the face of setbacks. When we make a mistake, we don't say, "I'm a bad communicator." Instead, we say, "I can improve my communication." This mindset transforms challenges into opportunities for growth. There's an old saying, "The only constant in life is change." This applies to communication as well. As we grow, evolve, and navigate through different stages of life, our communication skills must evolve with us. It's not about reaching a finishing line, but rather about being better than we were yesterday. Mastering communication is a lifelong journey, but one that can dramatically transform your relationships and your life.